And he has subjected for you the night and day, and the sun and moon, and the stars are subjected by his command. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who reason. For thousands of years, humanity has benefited from the radiant sun. Its shining rays help us to grow our produce and navigate the earth during the day, providing warmth and a source of energy for plants and animals. In recent years, we have also learned how to harness electricity using solar energy. Solar farms stretching hundreds of miles now power cars, homes, and entire cities. As solar energy continues to fuel our economies, many savvy investors have been able to cash in on the millions that have been invested in solar farms. But with the advent of blockchain, tokenization, and fractional ownership, it is now possible for smaller players to invest in large-scale projects like solar farms, which can provide stable and reliable income sources. As a conscious Muslim and small-scale investor, I am always looking out for ethical and Sharia-compliant investment opportunities. But with only a small budget at hand, my options are currently limited. However, a small-scale tech startup hailing from INCEIF University in Malaysia may be about to change the game forever. To help me understand blockchain tokenization and how small-scale Muslim investors can now begin to invest in large ethical and Sharia-compliant projects, Mr. Saif Khan, the founder and CEO of iWealthX, invited me to their event at INCEIF University to celebrate a major milestone for the tech startup. Attendance at the event was by invitation only, with leading Islamic finance scholars, researchers, professors, and university alumni attending to mark the special occasion. The milestone that iWealthX achieved was the completion of a Shari'ah Compliant Evaluation Framework for solar energy projects. This is significant as it now means that anyone can invest in solar energy projects using this framework whilst ensuring that Islamic principles are being observed. Awards were handed out as tokens of appreciation to individuals who contributed to the completion of the framework. I listened carefully to the speeches during the event, which were inspiring and a reminder of the importance of catering for more Sharia-compliant investment options to help lift individuals on lower incomes out of poverty whilst following Islamic guidelines. I had the opportunity to interview some of the guests at the event, starting with Mr. Saif Khan, the CEO of iWealthX.
iWealthX is a digital platform that's looking to democratize investments using real world assets and fractional investment. As an example, if you wanted to invest in a solar farm, today it's not possible because the minimum amount needed would be about 50,000 ringgit plus. But with iWealthX fractional investing platform, you could invest as little as 100 ringgit and generate regular passive income. We also create social impact through our social impact tokens, where you can contribute a part of your profits to Zakat, Sadaqah, Waqf, different campaigns that are on our platform through the Give from Gains protocol. What we're trying to do is create profit with impact, and inshallah, we want to create an opportunity for everyone to create wealth and also share that wealth, and all of this done in a very Sharia compliant manner as per Islamic principles.
So as we go deep into the industry and we gather some info and insights, we can categorize the challenges into these 4 pillars, which will be the fundamental of our project development. The first one, in terms of Shariah, we can see that there are unclear asset backing, which will raise the concern in terms of riba and garar, and also limiting the maqasid alignment for the project. And in terms of legal aspect, the challenges that we have identified is in terms of the new token face unclear compliance requirement. So it will impose holders to unforeseen legal and also reducing the investability of the asset. And from the technical aspect, there's challenges in terms of the weak blockchain and physical integration, which eventually will undermine the trust of the investor and will have low confidence for the investor to invest into the sector. And last but not least, from the financial aspect, the things that we have discovered from our exercise is that there are some liquidity barriers which limit retail and wakaf investor participation, which make difficult for this investor to participate into this sector. So based on these challenges, we have respond to it by developing this framework based on these 2 stages model evaluation. For the first stage, it involved the mandatory metric screening, where from this stage, we are going to screen off whichever project that is not eligible, it is not well structured for consideration into the tokenization aspect. So whichever project that going to not able to meet this at least minimum requirement, it is not going to be proceed into the next stage, which is the stage 2, where under this stage 2, we will define it, or we will score it based on several metrics, which involve the 4 pillars that we have established before: the Shariah, the legal, and also technical and financial. So based on this metrics, we will come with a score that will define the risk profile of these projects, and hopefully it will give confidence to investor whether they are going to take the risk to invest in this kind of project. So in order to illustrate better this framework, we will show some prototype, and my colleague will explain further in terms of the prototype and also the application of it.
In the final aspect, or in the final stage of the evaluation framework, that's where we have the system will actually give you if the project, if you can actually go in for the project, if it is very risky, you will see there. If it is not risky, if there is actually a tiny bit of some legal structures that you have to put in place, or some license that have to be put in place, the system will actually flag it out for you. And basically, the main reason why we came up with this type of evaluation is because of the end point of our solution, which is actually for the automation aspect. So you can actually do this manually, but instead of doing it manually, because, we can actually integrate in terms of automating it, whereby you just upload all the documents, and the system within 3 to 5 minutes, you will get your output, and you will be able to make a final decision if you want to actually go in for the project or not. So now, who actually need this evaluation framework? We have different stakeholders that are involved. For example, is for the investors, so it actually reduces the risk they would actually be taking, and also it will also enhance the confidence in terms of the Sharia aspects of it, and they will actually know if the for the financial is actually okay for them to go for the project. Then also for the regulators, it's actually simplify the compliance alignment regarding if a project is viable or not, or in compliance with the legal structure or not. Then also for the public and for the developers, and for the tokenization company itself, which is iWealthX, this framework will actually strengthen the credibility of strict framework alliance, and also it will actually lower the operational risk. And Finally, it will also enable liquidity and secondary market trading for token holders. Alhamdulillah, we're able to come up with this framework to actually help all stakeholders that will be involved to evaluate a project if it is viable or not viable before they can actually go into it.
I am very, very excited that Corporate Cedina is being chosen as a partner to distribute these products, and hopefully we will be able to deliver that. And certainly we will use the Corporacies network to reach out to as many members of the various cooperatives, of members of the cooperatives to understand, to educate, and to promote the platform. Hopefully, inshallah. Thank you very much, Saif, for your efforts. Thank you very much, INCEIF, for being part of this journey as well. Tokenization allows everyday people to own assets. And today's event, the development of a framework that addresses all the concerns, especially that of the individual investor, is seen to be addressed, right? In that, as a lay investor, you have a framework that will scrutinize, that will filter not just on the quality of the asset and the delivery of returns, but also in its Shari'ah compliance. And I think Malaysia, being 65% Muslims, this is very timely. Now, we have always said that the B40 and the M40 needs to get out of this situation where rising costs will eventually take over their income. And this means that when that happens, the opportunity to be earning, opportunity to be investing will slowly diminish as well. Tokenization allows them an opportunity to slowly build up wealth and slowly build up their assets. And where Corporate Dina is concerned, being a cooperative, we are very mindful of the spirit of helping one another. And this is where we are looking at ways to help the this platform to reach as many B40 and M40 as possible. And most of our cooperative members fall within that category. So it is very, very timely that we are seeing this thing happening today.
Okay, thank you very much. I have one more question, if that's okay. What is the significance of tokenizing solar energy?
Well, for me, and I think for those in the industry as well, we have always had an issue of putting sustainability into practice, right? The sustainable goals, the ESG and the SDG goals, as well as trying to balance it with the requirements of the Maqasid Sharia, right? And one of the Maqasid is in the preservation of property. And property is not just about our assets, but also about the world, the nature, the trees, the earth itself. Now, the tokenization of solar panels helps in delivering the ESG and the SDG goals and being part of that initiative to move to greener energies would certainly mean that we are complying or we are fulfilling the call to preserve nature.
For me, the most important part of tokenization is improving the participation, because I believe when we can tokenize, it allows almost everybody who can actually participate in the system. So you can even bring in small investors who have very small savings to participate. Because right now the financial assets, the investable assets, in terms of unit prices, is actually not available for a lot of people. So this is one thing I find exciting about tokenization, because it can be broken down into very small investable units.
Yep, yep.
So that allows everybody to participate. And the another one is also I think the transparency, and especially the today's younger generation. In most of the societies, there is a younger generation who are actually quite isolated from the investing community. And one thing is because they find it sometimes a bit dull, is not very technology. So now with this kind of things, so it will attract those who are technology savvy, the young people, to really get into the system to invest. And then also it improves the collaboration between number of parties in an investing scheme. So many parties can be actually linked together through this like a blockchain system in a very transparent and in a very in real time manner, where they're easy to transact. So collaboration of number of parties, and this works very well in like social finance, Islamic social finance, because in Islamic social finance, it's actually a mechanism where so many parties needs to work together. So many parties like mosques, the donors, the waqif, the people who contribute to endowment, and then the beneficiaries, all can be integrated with this kind of tokenization, which uses blockchain. I think that's one of the some things that I find exciting in this kind of initiative.
I agree 100%. So in the event, I learned that iWealthX, they have a charitable element
That's right.
to their project. Do you think that charitable element could help attract Muslims specifically?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. You see, even if you look at it from the for social finance, a lot of people can participate through this kind of mechanism. Just like tokenization allows so many investors to small investors to contribute. Exactly the same way, those who want to donate for charitable causes, one is they will have more confidence, more trust in the system because it is transparent. So people, when they have trust, they will contribute. And if they can contribute in small amounts, like through tokenization, which actually breaks down big projects into small bits of things. So again, a lot of people can participate in donating into good causes like sustainable projects, sustainable energy projects. I think yes, it will allow many people to actually participate in the charitable causes through of course transparency that improves trust, and then ability to them to actually transact easily in small bits through electronic means, especially for I think people who are technology literate and tech savvy segment can be onboarded into the social charitable causes in an easier way.
Okay. So what about the elder generation? So the younger generation, maybe they might find it easier to
That's right.
adjust. But what about the
I think the elder generation would probably find it a little bit alien in the beginning, but there is always a slow uptake of technology even by elder generation. As you can see, most of the social media, these platforms initially, no elder what people actually never interested in that. But now you can see some of the platform is getting mostly dominated by a bit elder community. So I think like Facebook is now primarily a lot of elder people coming into that platform. Same thing will happen. So but it will take time for the elder generation to come into this kind of things.
maybe there could be accessibility improvements. So for
That's
example,
right.
when with sometimes I do UX design.
Yeah.
So in UX, sometimes you have to make the text bigger. There's certain things you
That's
can change
right.
in terms of
So
the
it's all
design.
about improving the access devices and the means of access for the elderly people. You need to have maybe certain digital access points which is designed for the elderly people in a very user friendly, elderly people friendly mechanism.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts or comments you wanna?
For me, I believe this, but whether elders at the moment a bit slow, but then I think because if they really want to be in the system, this is something that will be the new system. So somehow or the other, they need to come into the system. And for elders, they have more money also. So elder segments have more money because they have a lot of money in their savings, their EPF, and they're actually very also open for investing.
Yep.
So I think this will be the future. Probably in the next maximum 10, 15 years, tokenization will be the main thing in the big thing in the financial and investing community.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you for being here with us today to mark the closing of another impactful project of ABL under INCEIF University. Today's ceremony is more than a presentation, a showcase. It is a testament to INCEIF commitment in bridging academic excellence with real-world industry impact. iWealthX is working at the frontier of real-world asset tokenization, wealth democratization, and also Shari'ah compliant investment opportunities. Their vision to become the world's first regulated Shari'ah compliant security token platform, one that integrates social impact and ESG principles, as has been explained by the MC, are not only ambitious but also aligned with INCEIF mission to develop leaders who drive ethical and sustainable financial transformation.
So this project, as you know, is one of the key things in terms of fractional tokenization. And to us, if you look at the space in Malaysia, particularly in the investment space, in Malaysia, we have quite, different types of investment. We have, for Malaysians particularly, we have the typical mutual fund unit trust. And because of ASB is doing so well, that I think the other unit trust is not doing that well, especially for Bumiput Trust. Then apart from the mutual fund, that we can buy directly into stock exchange in Malaysia. And we have what we call Shari'ah compliant, non-Shari'ah compliant. And the Shari'ah compliance more than 60%. I think close about 70%, the Shari'ah compliant equities, both in the main market and in the ACE market. So opportunities in Malaysia are there for investment purposes. Apart from that, we also have the P2P, the P2P lending and the Shariah compliant P2P in Malaysia. So again, another opportunity for Malaysians to invest in P2P, the debt market versus the equity market. So tokenization enables a person to invest in small amount, just like P2P also, small quantity, small amount, to invest in different projects. I personally have been involved in this investment, partly as a learning for me. I've invested in Indonesia, I invested in Malaysia. And based on that experience, I could say some countries are better, some countries are not so. And the other one is people tend to use the name religion, so to speak. But to me, at the end of the day, the most important thing is the project itself, not the name of religion. Because people tend to use religion, so-called, to get investment. So what is important in this particular case here is the opportunity for someone to be able to invest in real sector. In Islamic finance, we talk about real sector, very strong association between the financial sector and real sector. So this is one example of ability to invest in real sector. We have a solar project and future project, and to be able to invest directly in small amount. The other component is bridging the Islamic social finance through tokenization. Because we should be able to construct or develop real estate through tokenization. And I was in Aceh during the flood. And Aceh, for your information, Aceh, there was one businessman of Aceh. Of course, this was almost like 100 years ago. He did business very well, and he created 3 wakaf properties in Mecca. So there are 3 hotels in Mecca that belong to Wakaf Aceh, and 1 office building that belongs to them. So every year, the Hajis from Aceh, only from Aceh, Hajis from Aceh, get equivalent to about 10,000 ringgit a year because there are about 6,000 Aceh Hajis. So each of them get about equivalent to about 10,000 ringgit every year. Not the whole of Aceh population, but those who perform Hajj. And that income of 10,000 ringgit per hajis is given from that 3 or 4 wakaf properties in Aceh, in Mecca, sorry, owned by Aceh. So just imagine somebody who died 100 years ago already, continue to get the benefits. So I think tokenization and creating wakaf through tokenization, I think that would also be, I think, an important part of it. Why? Because we know how much money collected, where it is used for. And so bringing tokenization, bringing in sustainability, bringing in the social finance. I think these are the intersection as we move forward in developing Islamic finance.
So as human beings, we are burdened. We're burdened with the concept of expectation. And the concept of expectation is epic, it's very old. Each one of us becomes an adult and realizes, I want to achieve something. And then the whole purpose of trying to find out, what do I need to achieve? And then when you figure that out, then, oh, how can I be different? And once you figure that out, you realize there's competition. And when you find competition, some of us give up and the others stay. My esteemed brother here said he attended an event and they said to him, guess what you're doing is actually better than us, correct? You went somewhere and they told you about the work you've done here. Well, the same thing had happened with Zahrawi. Zahrawi wrote the book of surgery, but Zahrawi did not invent surgery. The Indians did and the Greek did. So he looked at what they did and he set up a book called the Book of Surgery, which was followed by the European surgeons to train their surgeons for 500 years. That's innovation. Innovation is not original, does not have to be original. Innovation is the ability to observe and to create solutions as you go. The man who made the car was Carl Benz, but he did not make as much money as Henry Ford, who did mass productions because he thought there's a big demand and he made that factory and they made a lot of money. But he didn't make as much money as Hertz and Avis rent-a-cars because they were no longer selling cars, they were renting them, they were making more money. And they didn't make as much money as Uber. See how innovation went? There's no engineering involved. So maybe we all need to think like that. So we are a generation of what I refer to as, politely put, delayed intelligence. And I'm planning to write a book on that. And I'll give you a very good example to prove my point. Why are we part of the delayed intelligence generation? So there was a man called Alexander Graham Bell who invented the telephone in 1873. 97 years later, Cooper in Motorola, 1976, invented mobile technology. 97 years later. So the difficult part was done by this old man sitting in one part of Europe, made the telephone, and we can talk to each other. But mobility came so low, so fast. No, very late, very delayed. Similarly, if you look at Islamic banking, while this beautiful country created most of its products, instruments, and tools, it's still not reached. If you look at the value of Islamic banking and finance, it's close to 5.5 trillion. How big is the OIC economy? It's twice the size. The discussion today is around tokenization, solar energy. That solar energy came from Allah. The founder of iWealth was created by Allah. The intelligence and hikmah that he will have or not have is from Allah. You have to drive yourself. We Muslims are driven by purpose. And we survive and thrive on belief. And our belief has nothing to do with anything else. We were born to succeed. None of you were born to fail. What is the one thing that matters to everybody? Is it that we create a good platform for tokenization? Is it that we write an amazing book? Is it that our startup becomes a $1 billion startup? What matters is what matters when it matters the most. How will you be raised from your grave? How? In the state of Iman? Inshallah. In the best of Iman? Inshallah. Among the Salihin? Inshallah. Among the Muhsineen? Inshallah. So yes, you have a task. Yes, you have an ambition. But I need you to find your purpose. The only commander-in-chief in recorded military history, the only one, who said, I have a prisoner, I will let him go if he teaches my people how to read and write. Our dear beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not Julius Caesar, not Alexander the Great. They were known for massacres. So you come, alhamdulillah, each one of you, from an essence that is pure, from an essence that is amazing. If there was a concept of selling DNA, they should sell Muslim DNA. This is how good it is. If we decide today that this project of tokenizing solar energy business can be done, it can be done if we understand the solutions, like I explained to you about Rockefeller Foundation creating the first apartments to Airbnb, like I explained to you about the first car till Uber. Think about the process. Think what can be made more accessible. A student paying $100 or 100 ringgit is more realistic than a student paying $1 million, correct? Start from there. Then work on the concept of communication. علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. Find your right bayan. Find the way you can best express. I believe I need to create a network of trust, not a network of convincing. If you don't create enough trust in someone, they will not trust you. If you're trying to convince someone, they may be convinced, but later they may be unconvinced as well. Because trust does not diminish. It is very difficult to diminish it. Convincing, marketing, sales pitches, they go, rahmatullahi, they go. You need to build trust. If you're trying to create a strong proposition for tokenizing solar or real estate business, create trust. Spend time doing that, and then you will see how it works.
So gold, there's
Sure,
property,
sure.
solar. Why specific? Why have you chosen these particular items?
We are very keen to tokenize physical products which generate revenue. For example, land on its own cannot generate revenue, but a home or a high-end condo can generate revenue. Similarly, solar panels or solar farms can generate revenue. So we're trying to tokenize products that can generate revenue for people, and therefore the choice of products.
Okay. And what is significant about solar energy? Why is it important to tokenize solar energy?
You know, we live in a world where there's too much of pollution today. There's a huge problem about climate, and there's a need for us to move towards renewable sources of energy. Solar is the most easy and the most abundant form of energy, and the world is moving towards solar, has been moving towards solar. I think there's a huge focus in Malaysia, and with Islamic finance and Malaysia, we see a massive opportunity in the solar space. Right, so that's why we've chosen solar. Plus, it's a little easier to tokenize solar compared to, let's say, land or even real estate, because fractional ownership is still not very common except for in Dubai, which happened only very recently. But I think everywhere else, it's a block of land. It cannot be a few square feet of land. So, therefore, technically speaking, solar energy is a little more easier to tokenize, and that's where we want to start. We've also signed an MOU with a mining company in Indonesia. We're looking to tokenize the mine and provide them working capital. We are also looking to propose a solar farm on the mine to convert the current energy into renewable energy.
Okay. One last question, if that's okay.
Sure.
So, of course, you're Muslim, and you have Sharia compliance. How can you ensure that your product remains Sharia compliant?
I think to start with, we have a very strong Sharia advisory board. The head of our Sharia is Datuk Akram Laldin, a renowned global scholar who sits on the board of many Islamic banks. He's also on the board of the Bank Negara Sharia Committee in Malaysia, which is the final authority on all Sharia matters in Malaysia. Even the courts accept their decision. So he's part of the team that is leading Sharia for us. So we've laid the foundation. We have a young Sharia scholar from Bolton who is helping us with the day-to-day piece, plus the evaluation framework that we are celebrating today also focuses on the entire Sharia compliant methodology as a framework. So we've built the entire Sharia compliance and the ethical investment bit within the DNA of the platform. So it's not as an afterthought, it is by design Sharia compliant. And I think we're putting a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of resources into ensuring that Sharia compliance is front and center. Although we don't talk about it too much, but I think at the foundational level, everything is Sharia compliant, which is very important for us.
Right. And we'll just end on one last thing. So, as this founder and CEO of a Muslim tech company, what advice could you give to other entrepreneurs who are looking to get into the technology space?
Alhamdulillah, entrepreneurship is a blessing from Allah. It's very difficult, but it's a blessing. And I think there's an opportunity to create a lot of impact, a lot of jobs, a lot of wealth for everyone. I would recommend all Muslim entrepreneurs to start building, to start creating products that can imbibe the values of Islam. And if we can do so, help will come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like Brother Abdullah in his speech today mentioned that we need to do things. We don't need to wait for stuff. Once we start doing things and seek help from Allah, I think help will come. I mean, today's event is a great example of that. I mean, whether it was me contacting you, subhanAllah, or look at the audience. I mean, we've got people from MDEC, we've got IFN, the news network, we've got somebody like Abdullah Hassan coming all the way from Kuwait. We've got the president and CEO of INCEIF. We have the CFO coming in, subhanAllah, and everybody is supporting, everybody is helping. We've got our partners that came in, Bolt Industries and Koperasi Dinar. So I think, Allah will make the way for you. He will find ways. It's very easy for him. I think we have to believe and we have to start. So I think that's the problem that most of us have. So as an entrepreneur, you've got to start. That's the first step. I also think you need to create communities. You need to reach out to other founders and also acquire the skills that you need. And it's a constant, process. I don't think anyone can say that I know everything about entrepreneurship. It's a learning phase. So do it. I think we need to pivot as we go along and ultimately seek the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and hopefully, inshallah, we will succeed.
Okay, Saif, thank you for your time. Jazakallah khair, my brother.
Okay,
Thank you so
take
much. Barakallah. Muslim entrepreneurs like Saif are leading the charge in the halal fintech space and helping everyday Muslims to expand their wealth. I truly believe platforms like iWealthX can help Muslims and ethical investors alike grow their wealth whilst knowing that their money is being invested in noble and beneficial projects. For as long as Allah allows the sun to shine upon the earth, humanity will continue to benefit from its energy and warmth. Solar energy is therefore a great investment option, and thanks to platforms like iWealthX, blockchain and tokenization is now accessible to all. This is Mujahid Chowdhury reporting for RAISSE Studios at INCEIF University, Malaysia.